Hi, this is Cheryl St.Pierre, and in this short little video, I'm going to show you how to make these simple little spiral studs. Um, you can put any type of drop on it that you want. This is perfect for little tiny earrings for those that prefer wearing studs instead of ear wires. Yeah, so let's go on with it. You could. I'm putting on a different set of drops on the ones I'm making right now. So yeah, let's go on with it. I didn't do a printout or anything because I'm doing this all in one shot. So I'm just cutting myself off some 20 gauge wire, and I am just going to have like a piece of working wire. So I'm actually just gonna cut off 10 inches. I probably don't need that much, but you could use scraps. I'd say give yourself at least 4 inches to work with if you're using scraps. And so what I want to do is grab my chain nose pliers. So supplies, I guess we should do that first. So this is 20 gauge, which is 0.81 millimeters in diameter. You'll need your ruler, a metal file, round nose pliers, snips, and your chain nose pliers. And I believe, and well, of course, have your drops made ahead of time. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is about longer than you want that, because we're going to snip it off later, so you don't really measure it right now, but I want you to bend a 90-degree bend like that. And so this is, it's less than an inch, but you know, it's more than what you want for your wire, because that's a personal preference as to the length you want, but we're just going to do that now. And now you need to take your round nose plier and as close to the tip as you can get away with this. I want you to squeeze. See how I'm lining up with that wire? I'd love to go right over top of the wire, but when you do that, it always slips out. But go close to this wire as possible and make yourself a loop. And you're going to want to make both of them. And okay, so I started the loop, and it was up here when I was doing it. I'm trying to make it even smaller than that. So now I'm going to, because it started, I'm going to pinch it as close to the end of the tip of the pliers as possible to make a circle. Okay, and now at the other end of this wire, I am going to start my other one, and I want to go I'm going to continue. I was going to do it side by side, but it's going to be too awkward. If I would have had 2 4-inch pieces, then I could have done that. So silly me, but let's move on. Okay, so it's not too big of a hole, and you can't get away with, you have to have a hole. It's just going to work. So now I'm just at the point where the circle started. And now this is the hard part. I'm going to grab onto this with the tip of my chain nose pliers, and you have to hold firmly, otherwise it's going to slip on you, and continue around, and it will rise up a little bit. You just pinch it down. If it rises up and down a little bit, don't worry about it. Later on when we file it down, and you will see what I mean, because I'll just show you close up. I gave it the brushed metal look, and if one area of wire is higher than another area, we're going to file it flat, and it kind of gives it a interesting look because it'll get thicker and thinner, and it kind of gives a maybe, if you can do it on purpose, a bit of a rose look. Be interesting to make these with a rose. So now I want you to pay attention to where the bend started. So where the wire is, we want that to be at the top of the earring. So I'll just show you on here. I've got it so that it's like this. So it actually has, it's not quite a circle. It's got 2 wraps on this side and 3 on this side. See what I mean? But that's okay. That's the look I want. If you don't like that look, you could go and make the loop on the other end. But I just wanted the wire to be closer to the top than the bottom to fit in the ear, and that's why I did that. But if you go further, it'll make your spiral bigger. So that's another personal choice. The technique's the same. So now I just wanted to show you, I've got some head airspace in there. I'm going to try and push that in. I'm going to make my work a little bit closer. Hope it doesn't make me go out of frame. That's when it's easier to be going out of the picture when I'm working, when I'm trying to see what I'm doing, that is. Okay, there. And you just keep moving the pliers where it's comfortable. And see, now I just pushed the wire down. I can go back up just by squishing it. And okay, and now I'm going to continue around. So now I'm paying attention to where the top of the spiral is, and I want this, now that I've got 2 on both sides, well actually 2 and 3, I want to go so it's level this way, so it's in position to make my loop at the bottom. Okay, so if that makes sense. Okay, so there it is. It's at the top. And I've got this wire going this way. Now, you can make both of yours exactly the same, so don't panic if that happens. Or you could try on purpose to make them the opposite direction. I have these going in the opposite direction so that they're mirrored. Okay, so or if you make 2 the same direction, then set one aside and make another one the right direction, and you've got a second pair started. Okay, so next, now that I've got that going straight, now I'm going to take my favorite loop size on my round nose pliers, and I'm going to head back and make a loop. And I just went over top like that. And now I'm going to take my flush cutters and just get them in there and snip it. And if I didn't snip it close enough, I would go even closer. What's it going to look like when it's closed? Does it look like a circle? It's not quite a circle. And this actually moved. I want to cinch that up just a little bit because it had airspace in there. Let's take another look at it. Does it look like a circle now? So I'm going to snip some away. Just a smidge. make that a little bit smaller. Take my round nose pliers and bend it in. And you do that. Now it looks round. And that's what you want. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the second one going the opposite direction. So I'm just got the wire. I set it down over here. I'm just going to bend it haphazardly into the 90-degree angle. Now this one, I made it wrap this way. So the next one I want to wrap that way. So I got to pay attention which direction I'm going. Okay, so I started, I had it like, no, I had it like this. So I went and bent it this way. I think I'm gonna, one you would bend up and the other one you'd bend down. That's how you make them the opposite. So yeah, it's starting to go the opposite way. So that's good. Now that I've got it started, I'm going to the smallest part of my round nose pliers. And make that tiny, as small circle as I can. It's still not a circle. Got to get close as possible to where it started. Pinch it down so it's level. And now I'm going to grab onto this side of it and push it around, which it slipped on me. And it keeps slipping on me. Okay, I'm going to hold from this side and see if that helps. Yes, I'm stronger that way. And now I'm going to, this is a little bit hard on my wrists. I've done a few prototypes today, so I think I've done too much in one day. It's slipping on me a lot this time. There we go. Making progress. Okay, so that's at the top. So now I just need to go around and straight this way. Once it gets bigger, it's much easier. Got a little bit of airspace in there. Squish it down. Okay. So this is the top. I want to make sure it's level. I think it is. I think it's the way we want it right there. Okay, now make the loop. So when it's this level that way, you just put the round nose pliers in as far as you can, and it tends to go almost into perfect position. I'm just pushing it, and I got quite a bit left, so like 10 inches is plenty of room, but sometimes you start again, so it's always good to have extra. Okay, how's that look? Okay, I'm going to snip that off. Oh, can't see what I'm doing. Okay, how's that look? Now I'm just going to turn it in even more. Flatten it all out. Okay, close enough. Now I'm going to put it flat. So if your wire isn't straight, and sometimes it isn't, and sometimes it is, let's straighten it. I'm going to use my file to push on it, because you know that your pliers are square. So if you're going from all directions and pushing it flat, you're going to make the wire perfectly straight. And it should be perfect there. Looks pretty good. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is put it right back and hold it like that. And now I'm going to take my file, because you're going to have marks. That's why we give it the brushed look. It's going to have marks from squishing it, and it doesn't take long. And see how some wires are thicker than others? That just gives it an interesting look. And the next step, well, I might as well do the second one the same way. Push it down. Flip it around a bit so it's a different direction. Push it down. And I'm just going to keep it there right now and do my filing. And I opened it up. Don't worry about that. That's easy to fix. Just take your pliers and squish it back in. And when you do this, it's actually good for it, because it's work hardening it. I'm just going to push it back just like that with my thumb. Real easy to do, because it's got the original curve in it. So it's not like the first time. And then I'm just going to file it a little bit more. Okay, now the next step is we're going to work harden the stems. And I'm pulsating pressure into it. It's gonna mar the wire a bit, but in your description, if you're selling them, you just say that it's, what's the term? Because customers don't know work hardening, but they do understand forging for some reason. Maybe from the TV show Forged in Fire, but it's not forged with fire. It's forged with work. So hammer forging is really what it is, but we're not hammering. We're virtually doing the same thing as hammering. We're putting energy and pressure into it, which work hardens it. And copper really responds to that very well. So you do it until you're happy with the stiffness. And even when, after you've filed the end, if you feel it isn't strong enough, you can go back and forge it some more. Work harden is the term I like to use. But customers usually don't understand that. Okay, so at this point, you could choose to make them, it probably is the opportune time to hold them like this in your hand so that they're level to each other and close as possible to each other. And you need to decide how long you want them. So you can do it visually, or you could measure and snip it off where you want. And now I've got the first one snipped. I'm gonna use that as my guide for my second. And you can compare a little bit better this way. And they're close enough because I can't really see the minute part of that. And then you just file the burrs off of it, just like you would with any other type of ear wire if you're making homemade ear wires. So I do north, south, east, west, and you file in one direction because they say if you go back and forth, it can create more burrs. So you just do the 4 directions. So I'm flipping it around. 4 directions is I'm talking about the 4 sides. And then flat. And then you go like this and you can feel if there's a burr. And I do feel a bit of a burr, so I'm going to go to that side, file it away. So virtually what you want to do is just round out that end. So I'm not going to do that one right now because you don't need to see that. In the next step, now, did I mention it before that you should always have earplugs when you're making studs, for sure? Because I even give them with the other ear wires because they lock the position of the fish hook in your ear, and then that way you don't lose your earrings. I get lazy and don't use it, and every time I don't use them, I lose an earring. It just happens, right? Okay, so I got that ready. Leave them on for the sale. And now I'm just going to, so these are closed loops. I cannot open them. So what's nice about these studs is I can open those, but you want to be careful to don't deform your loop. And then put it on so it's facing forward. And close it. And you can work harden that loop too by squishing on the curve. Pulsating. Make sure it's closed all the way. Okay, so that one's done. And the same with this one. So any type of eardrop will look well, it's personal preference. Pulsating. Okay, and there. That set is done. And they make a lovely pair of earrings. Well, thank you for joining me in this video. And I'm just showing you the difference between the different types of eardrops. really dainty, a little bit bigger. You can, huge, almost endless varieties of what you could do. Yeah, so again, thank you for joining me in this little video, and I hope you can subscribe if you're not, and like if you like it, and please leave a comment, even if it's just a happy face. Then it just gets me out there a little bit better. And consider joining my memberships. I recommend the one with retired videos. That way you have access to all my old videos that I've put into the retired video section, and it helps me support my channel. Thank you, and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.